Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com. How to convert any JPEG or PNG file, clip art, into stencils using the Silhouette Cameo software. We're going to show you how to search online for a good image, a nice dark image, and then convert it in the Silhouette Cameo software and then print it out as a stencil, a reusable stencil. So we're going to start out on the computer. We're actually going to open up the Silhouette Cameo software, but then we're going to go out and just do a Google search. And what I would search for is, whatever the topic is that you're looking for, black PNG or black JPEG image, do a search. You'll come up with hundreds of different images. PNGs seem to work even better than the JPEGs. Once you click on them, you'll notice that they have this gray thatched background. It's actually a transparent background. You can just click on that, save it to whatever file you want in your computer, just so you remember the name and where you can find it. You do the exact same thing for a JPEG. If you're going to do a JPEG, make sure that you zoom in on them and they don't pixel, they don't become fuzzy when you zoom in on them. You want a nice, clear, dark image. In the Cameo software, I've already copied and pasted these PNG files into my library. So all we're going to do basically is drag them from the file into the library, or my library, on the Cameo software. And you notice I have a few copies of the palm tree there. That's because I went through this process a few times. So anyway, this is a very simple process. What you do is you want to enlarge it a little bit, just so that when the Cameo software does the trace feature, it's as accurate as possible. So we're going to make it larger than we actually want it. We'll do the layout and the tracings, and then we'll reduce it to the size that we desired. I also had some images of some seagulls that I'm going to lay around this palm tree. This particular design is going to end up on a wooden sign, on a painted sign. And I'll put a couple seagulls in, varying sizes. I'll grab everything. I usually work up in the upper left-hand corner. Then I'll go over to the trace feature. And that green button right at the top, it's the area that you want traced. You highlight basically everything. And then you're going to increase this value bar until the object is completely yellow or solid. Then you hit the trace button. You can drag away the original image, and using the scissor, just cut it, get rid of it. And you do the same for the seagulls. Get rid of the originals. So all we're going to end up with are the trace lines, or the cut lines, for the Cameo Silhouette, or the Silhouette Cameo. Now, I did drop a couple of additional images on here for when I do the actual cut. I like to put a rectangular box around each image. That just gives it a finished look if you were going to hang on to them for a while before you use them. And if there's any additional cut lines outside of what you wanted, you could always use the erase tool to get rid of those. So I'm just going to look at the page settings, make sure that the size of the paper is correct. We're going to use a stencil sheet that's available through Silhouette. It's a reusable, kind of a thick, clear plastic that comes with a backing. So it will stick to most smooth surfaces. Then we're going to go over to the razor or the knife settings. Make sure that you actually pick, instead of vinyl or paper, you actually want to go down and pick the stencil film. Just arrowing down to find it. Okay, that's the stencil film. Once you click on that, it will give you then the blade settings. In this case, they want the blade set at a 3. So now this is basically ready to go. I can send this to the Cameo. as long as I've got the stencil material preloaded into the Cameo machine. I'm going to check my blade setting. Just going to release it. The little red dot is showing that it is already set at a 3. But you know, if you did have to change this, if it was a different setting, there's a little arrow on the key, and you can just line that up with the red dot and adjust it accordingly. But with the red dot on the 3 in this case, I'm going to put it back in its holder and turn the knob clockwise to lock it in position. Now I'm basically ready to go. All I'm going to do is going to come to the upper right hand portion of the screen, and I'm just going to click on the Send to Cameo button. And very quickly it starts to go back and forth and cut out the entire design. In my case, I think there's 3 designs on that sheet. Doesn't take all that long to cut out. And when it's all done, just hit the unload button. And then I'm just going to weed this a little bit. I'm going to cut out each one of those stencils. And then the one that I'm working on, I will tape to the workplace just to make it a little bit easier. You don't have to do this. I just find it's a little bit easier if you use just a little bit of Scotch tape to hold it in place. Razor knife works really well just to get the edge started. Weeding on the stencils is very easy because it's a thicker, stiffer, clear plastic. It lifts out very easily in one piece. Because we are making stencils, we're going to actually lift out the tree itself. We really just want the background. And then we're going to lay that in place on our wood, and we'll paint that, or paint through that stencil. I'm also going to remove each one of the seagulls. And what's nice about this is you could print these things, you know, almost any size. This material comes on rolls, so it comes pretty long. You're basically only limited by the width of the Silhouette Cameo machine. And now I'm just going to print. I'm just going to peel the excess material away from that rectangle that I cut around the template or around the design. Backing is in place. This is the actual template. This is that clear plastic I was talking about. And it's nice because it's reusable. You can just put it right back in place. You know, as long as it stays clean, it's not full of dust, it will continue to stick to you know, fairly smooth objects. Now, this is just a test. This is actually smaller than the finished product that I wanted to produce, but I just wanted to see if it worked. I'm just going to put it on some sheetrock wall. I used a little painter's tape around it. After experimenting a couple of times, it is much better to use these stencils in a horizontal position so that the object is flat rather than vertical. Even though this stencil material is sticky, you know, it's not that sticky, and it will certainly allow some drips of paint to get behind it when you use it vertical. I also found that I kind of like to dab the paint on with a brush or to use a roller rather than spray painting, just for the best end result. But end result, you can use these in a variety of different do-it-yourself projects. This is just one as a sample. Anyway, please check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com. Be sure to check out our other how-to videos. And if you like this video, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel.